guys, I'm Elizabeth Newsom and welcome to my YouTube channel. And joining me today is...
Madi.
So, I mentioned before on this channel that we were doing a 75-day challenge. And we recently just finished the challenge, so today we're going to tell you how that challenge went. So, the challenge was a challenge to say the least.
Yeah.
So essentially, for those of you who don't know, it's the 75-day challenge. The hashtag is 75hard. And there are 5 components to it. First is you take a progress picture every day. And then the second is that you have to do 2 exercises a day for 45 minutes each, one of which has to be outside. The other is drink a gallon of water a day, stick to a diet, and read 10 pages of a nonfiction. So the original rules are that if you mess up on one day, you have to start all over again. And so our rule starting out was, as incentive not to mess up, if one of us messed up, then we both had to start over. But like 54 days into the challenge, I messed up. The water was actually surprisingly hard, drinking a gallon of water. What's your estimated amount a day that you have to drink?
I think it's like 98 ounces.
How many ounces is in a gallon?
128.
Yeah, I'm at 81 ounces. I mean, it's still 80, 90, it's still close to 100, but like it's drastically different because, I don't know.
Hey, try chugging a quart of water.
If I didn't drink water throughout the day, I'd be stuck having to drink a lot right before bed. I remember one time I had to chug 2 water bottles and then some right before going to bed, and I know you've had to...
I've had to drink over half a gallon of water right before bed.
It's kind of the worst.
Yeah.
And you kind of hate water. It's
Yes.
like you feel so sick of water. You want to throw all that water back up. You want to not drink it.
Ever again. The next morning you still feel like drowning.
Yeah, so what happened with me is that it wasn't that I decided like, oh, I don't want to drink that much water tonight, but I literally had a cup or 2 left in my water bottle, and I was really tired that night, and I totally forgot about it because I was thinking about going to bed. I was also emotional, which didn't help. So I went to bed, and then I woke up the next morning, and I'm like, wait a second. The 75-day challenge has been really hard and really time-consuming.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I did not want to start it over because it's been so hard to do my writing every day and then an hour and a half of working out in addition, and then drinking the water. Like I said, it's also been surprisingly hard and time-consuming.
Yeah.
There have been nights when I'll be ready for bed at 10:30, and I'll realize I still have a bunch of water to drink. So I'll just like fill up a water bottle and kind of like drink some as I'm on my phone because chugging it is really hard.
No, staying up until like midnight or 1 drinking water just because chugging it.
Right.
It's so sickening.
Yeah, so what was the hardest part of the challenge for you?
I think definitely the water.
Mm-hmm.
I think it wasn't hard to do the working out because I'm used to working out, but I don't know, it definitely made life harder.
Yeah, for it to be so inflexible.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I don't know, I already work out like once a day, but really I don't need more than half an hour to 45 minutes anyway. So an hour and a half, it doesn't seem like it should be that much of a day. Like it shouldn't feel like that big of a chunk.
I guess how inflexible it is makes it, I think, where it's fun to do as a challenge for like a way to kind of break out of something or to just kind of start something new. Or for me, I've gotten really lazy and relaxed over quarantine. So I just kind of needed something to break me out of that and to really challenge myself mentally and physically. And I did that.
Yeah. I think, too, it was really good in the summer before school started.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was a little easier, too, when we were, like, living together.
Right.
Because we
Had
could
each
kind
other
of
for motivation.
Yeah, we could motivate each other, and we could do our outdoor workouts together, which after you, like, moved into the dorms again, I don't know, it was harder to do. I definitely did more night walks rather than like morning runs and things. Doing it and doing school and working
Right.
all at the same time so much.
Yeah, the timing of the workouts was really hard. I know there were initially a few times where both of us have been up way, way late trying to get our workouts in.
Yeah.
Like, So we didn't make the rule that you have to do it before midnight in order for it to count to the day. We just said like before you go to sleep for that night.
Which saved us, I think.
Yeah,
a lot
or
of
else
days.
we would have started over so many times otherwise.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, there were several times where we were about to go to bed and or wanted to go to bed, but we still had a workout to do. So
yeah, or that time I went to New Braunfels and I hadn't finished my workouts because I
Right.
was at school.
Mhm.
Yeah, we got to New Braunfels at like midnight, and I still had one workout to do, and so I just went on a walk
Mhm.
for 45 minutes ish.
I was up one time past midnight, just kind of like walking out in the neighborhood.
I felt
By
so bad because you like,
myself.
I knew that you were going, but I was still half asleep, so I was like, should I get up and walk so that you don't
survived.
get kidnapped or something?
I was really scared too because it's past midnight by myself in the dark.
You
So
should
I
have fully woken me up. I would have
no,
gone.
it was fine. So I just picked these like light posts and I kind of walked in between them, and I'm like, as long as I stay in front of here, like near her house, because I was staying there at the time, it'll be fine. And it was. I'm alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with the challenge, we obviously did not start over, which I could have really made time, I'm sure, if we wanted to, but I did not. I'm getting ready to publish a book and just a lot of other things going on, and my fitness is important to me, and I want to dedicate time to that, but I couldn't afford to keep doing that. Again, like it's...
To that extent.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
challenge, but it's just not a sustainable challenge. Good for a period of time, not as a lifestyle. Yeah, so what we just did instead is we're like, okay, I missed a day, so we'll just tack another day on to the end instead of starting all over at day 50, because that would have been like 120-something days almost consecutively.
Whew.
That would have
been the worst.
I know. There were definitely also ways in which we were kind of flexible with our challenge, right? What were those ways for you?
I chose a pretty lenient diet.
Mm-hmm, me too.
Because I knew that if I had done a really, really strict one, I've done challenges before, and like I know I've done really strict diets before, and I just know myself, like if I had done a really, really strict diet, I wouldn't have stuck to it, or it would have been really hard to, or I would have stuck to it, I would have been really stubborn, and then my body would have just kind of worn
Right.
itself away, you know, because really strict diets can't be lived on either. So I did carb cycling. So it's basically keto, just really low carb, for 2 days, and then in between each 2-day period, I had 1 day of like higher carbs, so a lot of fruit and whole grains, and then one of the carb days per week, I would have like other kinds of carbs, like bread or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did the same. I also had a really lenient diet because I also didn't want to do something where I'd lose a lot of weight, because sticking to a calorie deficit diet for 75 days, I definitely lose a lot of weight. For me, I just used my Fitness Pal and I set macro goals, and it was super, super flexible. My macro goals were plus or minus 10%, and then for my calorie goals, I could go up to 100 above my calorie goal, which is around 2,000 or 2,100. For protein, though, I didn't make it plus or minus 10%. I said at least 20%. And the thing with logging food is that you can't always log perfectly or weigh everything, or sometimes you don't even know what you're eating. I mean, sometimes you're just like at someone's house and they give you a cookie, you know?
Yeah.
So you just like look up a cookie and maybe it's right. So obviously, like, the point for me really wasn't a particular diet. It was mostly just being aware of what I was eating and logging that. So as long as I logged everything, I was pretty happy with it. And I know for you, something else you did to be a bit more flexible was the audiobooks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a thing too, especially in the summer. But then I was working like close to 50 hours. It was a lot. So what I did for reading was decided that, listening to audiobooks is less taxing, I guess, than reading a normal book. So usually I would try to shoot for reading an hour, sometimes 2 hours of an audiobook rather than reading the 10 pages. During school, I actually read the books.
Oh, yeah?
Because it was actually a little bit easier just because I mean, sometimes I would, like, if I was working out, I would listen to the audiobook, because we're already working out an hour and a half a day, so
Right.
listen to them there. But just
Good
things
idea.
like that.
Yeah.
Trying to fit it into the cracks of
Mm-hmm.
everything else that's required for life.
Yeah, and something else that you touched on earlier that I did to be a bit more flexible was as far as working out with the one outside. One of the hard aspects of working out was especially if you do it 2 separate times, then you kind of need to clean up each time, especially if you're going to work or school, and so that's time consuming to have to like change and shave and wash hair and then change back and brush your hair. And so, that also time consuming. I took a lot of morning showers. So something I would do to be a bit more flexible was I do a lot more walks. For my 45 minutes outside, I'd usually just do a walk, especially, after I moved out and went into the dorm. I found that I enjoy walks a lot more than jogging. I hate jogging so much.
I actually like running. I just don't like waking up super early.
I know. It was pretty crazy. So I would do, kind of for my outside, I generally do a 45-minute walk because that's what I wanted to do. And then sometimes on days when I was cut short, usually I would just do an hour and a half walk because that was actually more efficient than 45-minute walk, going back to dorm and grabbing stuff and water bottle and then going to the gym, 45 minutes there and come back. Another thing is with the gym, usually I start my timer on the way to my walk to the gym and kind of count that as my warm-up and just fill up my water bottle and start into the workout there, just because, again, the time constraints were really hard and I had to be really time efficient with my workouts, so I would usually include the walk there and walk back as part of it, which meant I didn't have a lot of time for the actual workout itself. I did about 3 sets of 4 different exercises, so like a decent workout, but not typically. I usually work out based on progress, not time. Right. Yeah. So I definitely skimped a bit more on the progress side of things in order to, like, honestly not go over that 45-minute limit.
Which is really interesting, and I think probably one of the negative sides to the challenge, because based on time, yeah. Because, I don't know, yesterday, it wasn't on the challenge, I just was going to the gym to work out. I did an arm workout, and I actually ended up doing more in that amount of time, I guess. I only worked out for half an hour. I didn't even go to 45 minutes. I worked out more then than I did with 45 minutes. And I don't know if it was just, like, because I was just thinking to myself, like, if I finish the goal for my progress, I get to go home, Like, with the challenge, it was like, okay, well, I have to be here for 45 minutes. And so I just kind of, like, rest longer.
I know, because, like, it's still part of the 45 minutes.
I know, and so, I know, that sounds really terrible. But, like, I didn't do as much in that 45 minutes when I was just waiting for the time to be up. But when my mindset was, like, I get to go home. This. Like, if I finish, I get to go home. And so I take less rest breaks, which meant that I actually was working myself harder, I guess.
So I think one of the negative aspects of this challenge was just, I mean, that's one of them, as you mentioned, but just, sustainability overall, because I cannot do that as a lifestyle. Just would not work. But there were definitely aspects of it that I liked and that I grew from, or things that I want to adapt and modify and make sustainable for me. So what would you say that those are for you?
We keep complaining about water, but I feel like drinking water is a really big one that I think I didn't do a very good job of before the challenge, so making sure that I've adjusted my water intake so I'm not drinking a whole gallon a day, but I'm doing it for my, like, body composition, so I think that's good. And then reading. Or at least listening to audiobooks or, like, podcasts or something, because I feel like a lot of times I find myself, like, when I have extra time or when I'm at work doing stuff, sometimes I'll just watch Netflix. Like, watch Netflix. I'll listen to a show that you don't really have to watch. I feel like my brain is so much better. It grows so much more when I'm listening to a book, like a nonfiction book or a podcast or something like that. So I've been trying to keep up with that.
Yeah, I think same for me. I've obviously taken my water limit down to what's recommended for my weight. So that's good. I really like to focus more on drinking water. And I love reading the 10 pages of nonfiction. Normally I'm a super slow nonfiction reader because fiction's so much more fun to read. But it was 10 pages a day is so attainable. It takes 15 or 20 minutes for me. And then just you know, in 10 days, that's 100 pages. You can finish, a lot of nonfiction books are 100 pages or around that, and you can finish so many books if you just keep that up. And it was really satisfying just to go through nonfiction books so fast with such small increments. Not sure if I'll actually do this, but I really enjoyed my morning walks. And I think that walking and getting enough steps in a day, I think that's also a very healthy thing. It's like a really low impact cardio, and I hate cardio, but I do really enjoy walks. Like it's really easy, and I feel like it's really healthy, and obviously very sustainable, even way later in life.
People don't really think about that too, you know.
Just walking.
Just walking, yeah. Especially when, I mean, obviously we don't really have to worry about that because we're still really young. Because people don't really think about the impact of not walking. Because you actually lose the ability to do that. People think, oh, well, you can't walk anymore because, like, you get overweight or you're just old and that's what old people do.
But right, use it or lose it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, obviously when you're a lot older.
For workouts, I think I'll just go back to my normal routine more or less, like a 30-45 minute workout a day. I'm honestly pretty happy with that. And going for 3 or 4 weighted workouts a week, and then usually a day of complete rest and a day or 2 of kind of fun workouts, like something on the elliptical or yoga or core. I just really enjoy the workout routine I already had. I am doing more of the workouts that you did, kind of a same pattern where it's heavier weightlifting.
I think kind of same. I think that was another thing too. I never really did yoga or
stretching,
yoga, any core-centered exercise. You don't get that from weightlifting, you know? And so it's kind of funny because I'm kind of used to being a little stronger than normal just because I've been lifting for so long. But it was a little bit humbling to do yoga and be like, oh my gosh, like I'm really not as strong in this area, and it's something I really want to work on. And I want to get, I guess, stronger in more ways than just being able to like lift a barbell.
So there you guys have some of our thoughts on the 75-day challenge. As always, please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel. I post about 1 video a week on Fridays. And as always, I'd love to hear from you guys. In the comments, let me know if you've ever done a challenge like this, and if so, what your experiences are, and if you ever think that you'd do the 75-day challenge. So let me know down below, and we'll see you next time. Bye!